Hi everyone, it's Power Up Pilates day 15 already, which means we're over 2 weeks through. I hope that you're really enjoying this session so far and are getting a lot out of them. Today we're going to be doing some 4-point kneeling work, and we're going to be really challenging our core stability, our pelvic stability and our shoulder stability as well. So all you need is to have a thick mat, so you have a mat like this, or a folded up blanket, or even a rug. And to protect your wrists and your knees if you need it, you can get a little cushion like this one and just place it underneath where your hands are going to be and where your knees are going to be as well. And that can just take the pressure off there ever so slightly. Okay, so let's find our what am I trying to say? Our kneeling position to start with. So I like to bring yourself into 4-point kneeling. So you have your hands directly underneath your shoulders, lots of space between your fingers, and your knees directly underneath your hips. So we're going to try and press the mat away so you're really strong and stable through your shoulders. So rather than slumping down with your shoulder blades pinching together behind your spine, you're going to press away and be really nice and strong here. Long back of neck as well, so that your gaze is going down towards the floor. We're going to make sure we're in our neutral spine and pelvis position as well. So rather than tucking underneath or sticking your bottom out, you're just going to be nicely supported here. Okay, so I'm going to start by going into a single limb lift. So what we're going to do now is just breathing normally. You're going to just try and lift one limb at a time off the floor without moving anything else in your body. So you should feel your tummy muscles switch on. So we're going to go leg and hands. So you're minimizing the movement. So you're just lifting up a centimeter, lowering down, lifting up, lowering down. Going around every single limb and thinking about keeping your spine as still as possible. So if you were to have a tray of drinks balanced on the back of your spine, they would not fall off at all. Okay, good. So a great way just to fire up our shoulders and our hips ready for movement. Lifting up and up. Good. Okay, we're going to go down round one more time. So lifting and lifting, knee, and come back to your start position. So now we know what we feel like in double knee. I keep saying double knee fold in our 4-point kneeling. We're going to go into something called a donkey kick. So this basically is where we move at the hip without altering the position of our knee. So what we're going to do is make sure that we're in our correct position to start with. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, start floating one leg up so that you're folding at the hip. Your foot is traveling it towards the ceiling and you haven't lost that 90-degree angle at your knee. Inhale, lower down. And again, think about keeping your pelvis completely square to the mat. So there's no arching going on. You're not lifting your hips up. You're simply floating one leg up at a time. And just experimenting with how far up you can take that leg without moving your spine. So we're really getting the back of our glutes, the back of our thighs switched on here, as well as all these core muscles, because they're going to be working super hard to enable you to lift and lower that leg. So breathing out, try not to dip your spine down towards the mat. And we're going to go on the other side. And if you want to make this harder for yourselves and you have something like a cushion or a squishy ball, you can place that on the back of your spine. Now I have a feeling this is going to go horribly wrong for me now. So you're placing that ball just in the small of your back. And you're going to try once again, lifting up, lowering down. Super, let's go again. Breathing out to float. Inhale to return. Super, we're going to go 2 more times on each side. Really feeling the back of your legs and your thighs switch on. And again, fab. One more time to each side here. Breathing out to float. Inhale to return. And our last one, fab. Inhale to return, take the ball off your back and sit back and give your wrists a little bit of a rest. So roll them around, just getting a bit of movement through the wrist joint. Super. Okay, so going back into our 4-point kneeling now, we're going to really get some movement at our hips now and engage our core by going into a kind of flow back. So the same as before, we're keeping your spine really, really nice and still here. As you hinge back, just think about sending your bottom away from you so that you're deepening that crease through this hip. And come back. Now, it's really easy when you do this to tuck your tailbone underneath you so you're rounding through your spine. But what I'd like you to do is think about keeping your spine in one long neutral line. So you're hinging back, Coming back through, maybe even going forward over your wrists. So you're really challenging your core to keep it stable here. Going forward again, lovely. Let's hinge back, sending your bottom backwards. Think about your sitting bones widening here and hinging forward. Great, going back again, hinging back, super. And coming forward, we're going to do 2 more like this. Hinging back, all the way forward, lovely. So maybe feeling a little bit more warm at the knees and the hip joints here. And coming forward once again, well done. Let's give our wrists a rest before we move into our next movement. So we're going to go into a tabletop 2. So we're going to give you an option here. If you've never done this before and you're a bit worried about your balance, you can stick with tabletop 1. It's still going to get you lovely movement to your shoulders and your hips and really helps build up your strength and your coordination as well as your balance. So for this one, as we inhale, we slide one hand away along the mat in line with our shoulder as we slide the opposite leg away behind us in line with our hip. Then you exhale and draw back in. And throughout this entire exercise, you're trying to keep your spine as still as possible. So you're going to go on the other side, inhale to slide, exhale to return, and you're really straightening that leg up. So rather than having a little bend to the knee, really reach your toes to try and fully extend that leg. And come back. And so you should feel already that your toe muscles are switching on because you're taking yourself into an unstable 2-point kneeling position. So you're leaning through your knee and through your hands. Good, let's go one more time on each side. So this is option 1, this is tabletop 1. Final one here, really reaching to that toe once again. And now we're going to go into our second option, which is where we're going to float that hand and that leg up. So this time we inhale to slide, exhale to float up. So your arm is in line with your shoulder and your leg is in line with your hip. Really nice and long. Lower down and return. Well done. Let's go on the other side. Inhaling, get your balance. Exhale to float, reaching through your toes, reaching through your fingers. Lower back down and return. Super. Let's keep going. Slide and float. Lower and return. Fab. Going again. Sliding, floating up. Keep the back of your neck nice and long. Really thinking about strength and length through your limbs. Sliding and floating. Good. We've got one more here. Last one here. Sliding and floating. Back down. Return. Send your bottom back over your heels. And once again, give yourself a roll around with your wrist here. Fab. Okay, so just for fun, we're going to try and turn this into a Superman. So this basically means that we're going to lift the same arm and the same leg. So make sure that there's nothing that you're going to hit if you fall over. It's very important. We're going to go back into 4-point kneeling. So this time, again, I think this is going to go wrong. You're going to slide and then same arm, same leg has slid away. You're going to transfer the weight onto your supporting hand and knee and float up so that you are in a big Superman position. Lower down and return. Now you're going to have to tilt slightly to take the weight over. Then float, reaching through your fingers, reaching through your toes. Lower down and return. So throughout this exercise, think about tummy button coming up to your spine to support you here. Floating all the way up, good. Lengthening down and return. Super, let's go. A couple more times each side. Hopefully the more you practice this, the better your balance becomes. And you can see I'm having to just tilt ever so slightly, otherwise this would be pretty much impossible to do. Great for your balance, great for your feeling that you can do something pretty cool as well. It's your new party trick. Coming back down and return. And once again, sit back over your heels and roll your wrists out just to get rid of any pressure. So we're going to finish with a pretty much more normal Pilates exercise, which is going to be our cat and our extended cat. So coming into 4-point kneeling here, set your knees up directly underneath your hips. I'm going to breathe in here. As you breathe out, tuck your tailbone between your legs, and one bone at a time, start to flex away from the floor, pressing the mat away, lovely length and strength through your spine. And then as you inhale, I'd like you to come back to your neutral position before sending your bottom backwards and your breastbone forward, deepening that curve in your lumbar spine. And we're going to return. So we're going to tuck our tailbone, feel that really lovely movement of our spine. We've got sequential mobilization going on here. And extend, breastbone going forward, bottom going back. Let's go again. Tucking underneath you. Mid back going up towards the ceiling. Press the mat away. And extend, breastbone forward, bottom back. We're going to go 2 more times, tucking underneath you. And again, this is going to be our last one. So really try and get every single bit of movement you can out of this exercise. It's going to be really nice to open up any achy backs. Sending your bottom backwards, breastbone forward, really reaching here. And then we're going to send our bottom back over our heels and sit however suits you best. Just giving your wrists a rest once again. We're going to go into a lovely stretch. So reaching your arms all the way up, reaching through your fingers, pressing the air away, and give yourself a clap. Well done. I hope you really enjoyed this 10-minute session today. I'm going to be back tomorrow with more exercises. So have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the sunshine, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.